Good day, everyone. And on screen with me for the Durango Fall Classic preview is none other than 6'2" outside here from Skutt Catholic, all the way from Omaha, Nebraska, North Carolina commit. This is Addison West. Addison, great to have you on today.
Thank you for having me.
I have to go off script because you actually, before coming on camera, you said you're doing something pretty cool, which is a huge event to kick off the NCAA women's volleyball season. So why don't you share with our listeners and viewers what your team and you got to do this last few days?
Yes, so on Thursday, we went to the AVCA's having their first serve in Lincoln, Nebraska. And so we had a scrimmage versus some other teams, and then we actually got to do an inter squad scrimmage and test all the camera angles and the lighting. And we got to like run out of the tunnel, and we were Pitt versus Nebraska. And so we got to test that out, and we got to actually have a scrimmage at the place. And so it was really cool. So much fun.
Did you have to emulate a certain player like Harper Murray or something?
I was Pitt, so I was Olivia Babcock. So yeah. But we had one of our girls, she's like probably 5'5". She was Harper Murray. She like ran out and that's just happened to be who she was. So it was fun.
Well, it's such a great experience, especially with the growth of NCAA women's volleyball, which, I mean, you're jumping into being a North Carolina commit. But before we jump too far ahead in your future here, I want to talk about your Skutt Catholic team. And this last season, 2024, had a fantastic season. You're in pursuit of your 10th Class B title. That is amazing for just one school, but fell short. You chipped in 31 kills and did everything possible in your power to get that victory. But what are your thoughts on your 2024 season as a whole?
Yeah, it was such an amazing season. And looking back, I got to play with some of my best friends. And in that in itself is so special. And our goal at the end of the season was to not want to take our jerseys off. And so to get to that point in the locker room after we lost and to all be sitting there and wishing our season wasn't over, that's the goal. And that's what makes it so special. And so even though we fell short, there's so many moments and success that to look back on at the season that just made it so hard to end, but it was such a great season and there I had no regrets. So that's the best part.
Now, from the 2024 season, what do you take with you into this 2025 season?
Our motto this year is fuel the fire. And so we don't want this year to be like redemption. Like it's a brand new team. Last year we tried to win a state championship with that team. This year we try to win a state championship with our this team. Like it's just one. But I do feel like you don't want to feel that feeling again. And so I think what we take with us this year is we don't want to be in that same spot at the end of the season where you have that feeling. And so I think just the competitiveness and it's our last year. And so there's 9 seniors and we all want to go out on top. And so just to come together and do that would be really special.
Oh, without a doubt. Well, what have you done personally to get you dialed into this 2025 season?
Yes. So our open gyms, conditioning, lifting, that's all been really, we've been very intentional with that. And Coach Saunders has been very good about taking advantage of every rep. And then for me personally, just trying to find like a way to separate myself from great to elite. And so whether that's nutrition, like working out, whatever it is, just trying to find that extra edge that I can get on other athletes just to separate myself.
Wow. Well, with that, obviously we have you on screen, but can you share a little bit about your 2025 team as we're beginning to launch into this new season? And it sounds like you've got a pretty talented team coming back.
Yes, our team, well, like I said, our team has 9 seniors. We have one junior and 2 sophomores. So we have lots of great leadership and experience. And our team is very versatile. Like Saunders can put in any lineup, and I'm sure we do great. And so that's very cool. And I'm just very excited to see what we can do with so many well-rounded players.
And with that, Skutt Catholic is in a very, unless you've been living underneath a rock, is in a very volleyball talent rich area in Nebraska. Um, what do you attribute the success to your program to, especially given the amount of talent that surrounds your area?
Yeah, I credit so much all the success and to the culture and values that Coach Saunders has put in place. She spends so much time trying to find ways that we can separate our team from others, and she's earned our respect. I hope she respects us, and so the respect goes both ways, and we just really want to go out and play for her because she's done so many amazing things for us, and our she's created a legacy through her players that is not based on talent but based on how you can be a better teammate, player, and a person. In the standards she holds us to take commitment, but she makes volleyball so much fun.
Oh, gotta enjoy that when coach makes volleyball fun, even though you're grinding 7 days a week, it seems like.
Yeah. Yes.
Now, as we edge closer to, we'll call it go time in 2025, what are your expectations of yourself and the team? And I know you touched a little bit on it, but just want to make it very clear for our watchers and listeners.
Yeah. My expectations for this year just to go out and play like it's our last time, because for 9 of us it is our last time. And these girls are my best friends, so to compete with them every day and compete for such a great coach is special. And so if we keep playing to the values that Saunders has held us to, then we should see good results, and there's a lot of expectations that we can live up to.
Yeah, and actually, you've a lot of people have high expectations of you in this season. Just out within the last few days, the Max Preps preseason All Americans, in which you were named. But with that award, I don't even know if I broke the news to you or if this is a surprise. Hopefully, it's not a surprise to you. But um, what kind of I guess, how do you approach this season knowing that you have this high expectation from people who follow the game and from other coaches and players?
Yes, I it's such a great honor and it's a privilege to be named with such amazing athletes. Like I watch these girls named with me and I'm like, wow, they're so good. So to be named with them is really special to me. And this just motivates me to keep leveling up my play and separate myself from great to elite. And that's the step I'm really working towards. And then taking some experience I have and just taking it into my leadership too.
And with that, obviously one of the top tournaments in the nation, and the reason why I've reached out to you is the Durango Fall Classic in Las Vegas, Nevada. And I wanted to ask you, why you think Coach Saunders has you competing in this tournament and has been for a few seasons now. But what makes this tournament so important for Scott Catholic and yourself?
Yeah, she wants us to go and compete because there's such amazing teams there, and she knows it's going to challenge us. It always has. And so working through that in the season will help us at the end. There's some of the best teams in the country, so it's an amazing opportunity to be able to play with them. And Saunders wants us to find our weaknesses and strengths early in the season, and this is just a great opportunity for us to find those.
I call it the trial by fire tournament because it's although teams come out with losses, top 20 in
Hmm.
the nation, it
Yeah.
definitely forges a pattern to work for, and usually those teams end up being at the top or near the top at the end. So,
Yes.
yeah, definitely into the cauldron, into the fire, and being tested immediately. Um, but what are your personal thoughts competing at Durango? I mean, being that it's such a storied tournament and one of the most competitive ones in the nation.
Yes, I love competing there. The competition is so good. And when you surround yourself with greatness, it'll make you great too. So to have other teams that challenge you is crucial. And just to see new looks that we don't see in Nebraska is very beneficial to us. And then once we get to the end of the season, we know we have the confidence knowing that we've prepared and we've competed against some of the best in the country.
And with that, this is Addison West, outside hitter, 6'2", North Carolina commit from Skutt Catholic. Appreciate having you on.
Thank you.